It was supposed to be just another promotional event, an elegant setting, soft lighting, and a gathering of fans eager to see their beloved actress, Park Eun-bin. But what happened that night left not only fans but the entire entertainment world stunned and breathless. Under the glow of the stage lights, with hundreds watching both in person and through live streams, Park Eun-bin's eyes filled with tears. She held the microphone close and whispered something that echoed far beyond the venue. "I swore I'd never get married," she said with a trembling voice, her gaze cast downward. But then Rowoon said something, and I couldn't stop crying. The silence that followed was louder than any scream. Her fans, many of whom had followed her since her early days in child acting, looked at each other in disbelief. "Are you serious?" What had Rowoon said that could shake the foundation of a vow she had once fiercely protected? In that moment, Park Eun-bin revealed not just a secret, but the emotional crack in a seemingly unshakable persona. And from there, the story unraveled, messy, beautiful, human. Park Eun-bin had always stood out in the industry for her poise, professionalism, and quiet intensity. Since her debut, she had taken on roles that stretched her capabilities, won awards, and impressed critics. But behind her on-screen brilliance, she had carried a deep, personal decision, never to get married. Not out of bitterness. Not because she didn't believe in love, but because she believed her life was already full, complete in its own right. Marriage, she once said in a 2019 interview, is not a necessary destination for everyone. Some of us, we build different kinds of homes. That philosophy wasn't just a passing thought, it was her emotional armor. In an industry where dating scandals make headlines and marriages often collapse under pressure, Park Eun-bin found peace in solitude. She turned down proposals. She avoided romantic entanglements that might complicate her career. She even wrote in her private journal, a detail revealed by a close friend, that if someone ever truly loved her, they must be able to love me from afar, like the moon loves the ocean. Then came Rowoon. Their first encounter wasn't glamorous. It was behind the scenes of a casting workshop. Both were there to read for entirely different roles, in entirely different projects. But their managers happened to sit them near each other. He smiled first. She nodded politely. It wasn't love at first sight. But there was a moment, brief, unspoken, when their eyes met and neither looked away too quickly. Later, fate aligned their paths again when they were cast together in a romantic drama. Many said the chemistry was explosive. Fans shipped them before the first episode even aired. But what people saw on screen was only a fragment of what was happening off screen. Their conversations grew longer, deeper. They discussed scripts. Yes, but also music. Childhood memories, dreams, fears. He would wait for her quietly after rap, not asking for anything. She began noticing how much calmer she felt when he was nearby. Still, she resisted. She had to. "I think I was scared of how easy it felt," she later admitted to her stylist during a late-night touch-up session. "Because if something feels that easy, it's probably dangerous." Rowoon, on the other hand, trying to pursue her in the traditional sense. He never confessed, never pressed. He simply stayed. Patient, gentle, present. As if he understood that she was a garden that could only bloom in time. Then, everything changed during a quiet winter trip. It was a short break between filming schedules. The cast and crew were exhausted, and Park Eun-bin found herself invited to a private ski resort gathering organized by Rowoon's team. She almost declined. Something in her gut said to go. Maybe it was the snow. Maybe it was the way he had softly said, "You don't have to ski. Just come for the stars." And so, she went. The night was crisp, the fire warm. The laughter around her felt almost like family. At some point, people began turning in for the night, leaving only Rowoon and Eun-bin sitting beside the crackling fireplace. There was no background music. The occasional pop of firewood. She sipped her tea. He looked at her. Not with intensity, but with a softness that made her feel like the world had grown quiet just for them. And then he said it. "If I ever marry," he began, barely above a whisper, "I hope it's you. Because you already feel like home." She blinked. Once. Twice. The words hit her like waves, slow at first, then crashing all at once. Her first reaction wasn't to smile or laugh. It was to cry. Not out of sadness. Not even out of fear. But because something inside her had cracked, and through that crack, Light came pouring in. I didn't say anything back. She confessed to her makeup artist days later. I just cried. And I didn't even know why. As like my whole body had been waiting to hear those words. Even when my mind had shut them out. From that moment, Park Eun-bin wasn't the same. Days that followed. She tried to push the moment aside. She buried herself in work. In photo shoots and interviews. But every time she sat still, on the ride home. In her bathtub, at 3 a.m. Her kitchen, it replayed in her head. You already feel like home. And suddenly, the vow she had made to herself so many years ago felt less like protection, and more like a prison. Her team began noticing the change. The manager asked her twice if something was wrong. The assistant said she smiled more often. Even when no one was looking. One evening, she asked her stylist a question that shocked them both. Do you think some people are born to be alone, and others are just too scared to love? No one dared answer. The media, of course, knew nothing. Her image remained polished, composed. There were rumors, there always are. But no confirmation. Rowoon and Eun-bin kept their dynamic tightly sealed behind professionalism. Until the fan meeting. Till the moment when she could no longer hold it in. The event had gone smoothly until a fan asked an innocent question, do you believe love can change a person? She hesitated. Her lips trembled. And then the wall fell. Yes, she said, barely audible. Love changed everything I thought I knew. The audience leaned in. I used to think marriage was not for me. That I could live a full life without it. And I still believe that for many, that's true. But. She paused. Her eyes welled up. Someone said something to me. Something so gentle, so kind. That it felt like being seen for the first time. And when he said it, I cried. By now, a few fans had already started tearing up. Bin wasn't done. I swore I'd never get married. She continued, her voice shaking. Then Rowoon suddenly said this. She didn't even finish the sentence. The room erupted into soft gasps. Rowoon had been uttered. Not in passing. Not as a co-star. But as him. The one who said that. The man who cracked the uncrackable heart. Eun-bin lowered her head. Holding the mic close to her chest. Tears fell silently down her cheeks. There was no sound but the rhythmic hum of the venue's air conditioning and the quiet sobs of her fans. Who had never seen her this vulnerable. It wasn't just a confession. It was a surrender. A moment of pure human truth. Stripped of all pretense. And just like that, the entire world wanted to know, what exactly had Rowoon said? And what would happen now? Would she deny it later? Would their agencies release a joint statement? Was this the start of something real, or the revelation of something that had long been real, but hidden? No one knew for sure. One thing was certain, Park Eun-bin, the woman who had once built walls sky high around her heart, had just opened the door. And standing on the other side, was Rowoon. The days that followed were a storm of speculation. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, surprise, and even shock. News outlets tried to reach representatives from both sides. Both agencies declined to comment, citing personal privacy. But then came the next twist. Rowoon posted a single message on his social media. It was a photo of the moon reflected on the sea. Caption, some things are best understood in silence. The internet exploded. Fans recalled Eun-bin's old quote from years ago, about a moon loving the ocean from afar. Was this Rowoon's way of saying he had always loved her, quietly, respectfully? Was he confirming everything without needing to say it aloud? Then came the most emotional detail of all. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that Rowoon had recently been seen at a small, independent jewelry store known for designing customized rings. No one knew for whom the ring was, but the timing couldn't be more poetic. And in the middle of it all, Eun-bin quietly uploaded a handwritten letter to her fans. It read, "For years, I was afraid. Afraid of being vulnerable. Afraid of needing someone. I believed that strength meant standing alone. But someone reminded me that strength can also mean letting someone in. I'm not announcing anything. I'm not making promises. I'm just learning to open my heart. Thank you for holding it gently." She didn't mention Rowoon by name. She didn't have to. Stories, real ones, words are often the least important part. It's the pauses, the silences, the tears, and the truths we can't quite say aloud that make them unforgettable. this story between Park Eun-bin and Rowoon is indeed what we believe it is, then the world has just witnessed the beginning of something more powerful than any drama they've ever acted in. It's not just a romance. A quiet revolution of the heart. And it all began with one sentence. You already feel like home.